Now moving over, India's Supreme Court has said that Khap Panchayats cannot interfere in marriage between two consenting adults. The Supreme Court has said that Khap Panchayat's decision on a marriage has no legal bearing and that they have no right to interfere. In 2010, NGO Shakti Vahini put in a plea against Khap Panchayat's interference in intercaste and interfaith marriages. Khap Panchayats are community organizations in villages which act as a quasi-judicial body. That is the latest coming in from the Supreme Court, where they have prohibited Khap Panchayats from interfering in intercaste and interfaith marriages. This is the latest verdict coming in on love marriages from India's apex court, the Supreme Court. As we mentioned earlier, in 2010, an NGO, Shakti Vahini, had put in a plea against Khap Panchayats' interference in intercaste and interfaith marriages. Khap Panchayats are community organizations in villages which act as a quasi-judicial body. The Supreme Court has prohibited Khap Panchayats from interfering in individuals' decision of opting for a love marriage based on an inter-community or an intercaste marriage. No one can harass consenting adults. That's what the latest verdict from the Supreme Court on love marriages is. It's in favor of the plea filed by an NGO back in 2010, as we all informed you. The plea filed back in 2010 was by an NGO called Shakti Vahini, asking for prohibition of Khap Panchayats to stop their interference in intercaste and interfaith marriages. Khap Panchayats are community organizations in villages which act as a quasi-judicial body. This is the latest verdict coming in from the Supreme Court, where it has clearly defined that no one can harass consenting adults. These are the guidelines which will take in force immediately. Ruling is in favor of the plea which was filed by an NGO back in 2010. And that's what the Supreme Court has said, that no one can harass consenting adults. Since this verdict comes in lieu of the honor killings which had been taking place after the Khap Panchayats would order honor. And to give us more details on the story now, I'm joined in by our correspondent Jessica Taneja. Jessica, please elaborate on this verdict, which seems to be quite historic because we cannot miss out on all the honor killings that were taking place earlier.
Absolutely. There are details that have emerged, and the Supreme Court has given another landmark judgment. It has, in fact, said that, honor killings will not be allowed by quasi-judiciary Khap Panchayat. There need to be strict measures and guidelines to protect couples who are marrying in the caste. So, of course, this comes, as a very difficult situation for the Khap Panchayat, because this specifically where the judiciary is not very present, not really, people are not aware of the judicial rights. This, in fact, has come in for the protection of couples who are seeking some sort of police action when things like these happen to them.
Right. Jessica, also, this had, the Supreme Court, and not just the Supreme Court, even the High Court was actually toying with the idea for a long time. Hasn't this case, this has been prolonged for too long now?
Well, it has been, but it's been going on since the year 2011. It has recently been opened in Supreme Court in the past few months, and we've heard from some very, straightforward observations coming in from the apex court that couples can't decide the future of couples who want to marry intercaste. Particularly when we talk about the issue of honor killing, which is very dominant in the states of Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, where the Supreme Court has said that it will set up special task forces in order to ensure that these couples are protected. And given that there have been many, judgments given by these quasi-judiciary institutions like Khap in various districts of rural India, and couples have nearly suffered a lot, and most of them have even, been brutally killed by their own family members. So, of course, this is exactly what the Apex Court has been saying for the past few months, and they've made it clear in that judgment too.
Right. Thank you, Jessica, for bringing us all those updates.